Keep Watching is a film that was finished in 2014 but wasn't released until October 31st, 2017 for a one-night only engagement. Then it was released today at Redbox, and I think it's been on VOD for a few weeks. Usually when a film is pushed out that much from its completion, it's a kiss of death. But, I mean, is this movie awful? No, it's not awful. I definitely think there's going to be plenty of people who disagree with me and say it's downright awful, but I'm not a person who just, because I don't like a movie or because there's things that annoy me in it, I'm just going to be like, it's dog shit, it's a 1 out of 10. I'm not that kind of person. I will always give a movie its due. If it has clever little cute things here and there, I'll pick those things out, and I can appreciate the creativity put into those scenes, even though the rest of the film is generic. Now, this film is technically found footage, but before you run from it like the plague, like most people do, know that the premise of this film is that a group of people break into random families' houses. They set up multiple cameras, and when I say multiple, I'm talking like 10 to 15 a room. How they even had the time to do this or the money, let's not talk about logic. Let's move on. They broadcast this live on the internet for people to watch for entertainment values. I will get to that at the end. Now, this movie stars Bella Thorne, who I know a lot of people dislike. I think she's fine. She's a pretty girl. She acts totally good. I think this is a personal thing, like what she does in her normal, regular life. Like, I think I've heard people say, like, oh, she's really weird and all that. I don't give a shit what people do in their normal life. Like Tom Cruise and whatnot. I don't know why people care about that stuff. Who they are on the screen is all you should be concerned with, unless they're like killing people or fucking kids or something. You know what I mean? Like, stop. You shouldn't even know what celebrities are doing in their real life. It doesn't matter. You may dislike her because of her acting and whatnot, but it seems like this is a thing that people just, they dislike her in her personal life. This also has Carl from The Walking Dead, Reed Richards from the older Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba, and Lee Winnell, who is the writer of Saw and Insidious and plenty of other movies, who acts here and there. He's Specs in the Insidious movies. He's in the first Saw, so on. And I like Lee Winnell. Now, things that I like about this movie, I like how intent the killers are on fucking with these people. The lengths they go to terrorize these people and get into their minds and really, really do some terrible shit to them to make them just for that added, like, misery, for that added torture, not only to physically torture them, but to mentally torture them. I know that sounds mean-spirited on my part for liking something like that, but it adds to tension. It adds to the horror of the film. And we watch horror movies, right? And there's supposed to be horrible things going on and things that would be considered horrific. And having your mind fucked with is just as bad, if not worse, than having your physical body fucked with. So there are some clever and really nasty things in here that I haven't seen done all that much. And it's pretty mean-spirited stuff. So I like that kind of stuff. As I said, judge me all you want. There's also a couple cool kills in here. One involving a water hose, which I thought was definitely the best one in the film. Now, for all of you gore fanatics and whatnot, which I am myself, I don't need it, but I always like it. There is like none. There's no nudity. There's no stuff like that. So if you're looking for stuff like that, it ain't here. This couldn't get away with a PG-13 just because of its, brutal nature. But as far as like gore, boobs, cussing, all that kind of stuff, I don't even remember anyone cussing. But honestly, I don't remember that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a fairly tame film in that regard. And now, the whole social media aspect. Now, the films today, of course, they're going to insert the technological aspect. It makes sense. It's part of modern film. it always has to address cell phones and social media, and it's trying to send some kind of social commentary message out there. How much, I don't know. I don't know how heavy-handed it is. It didn't feel like it was in my face, but if I wanted to overanalyze it, I probably could find reasons to dislike it. Now, this isn't the first film I've seen where a found footage type movie is done on multiple cameras by people who have put cameras in the house. Just kind of off the top of my head, you have 388 or Arletta Avenue, and 13 Cameras, which is currently on Netflix, which is a pretty damn good movie. But the movie definitely, it raises a lot of questions that I would have. They're not exactly deal breakers within the film, but one thing I have to think is, like, if I'm going to step outside of this movie and I'm going to start thinking about it, the way they want me to, I have to question, like, would people actually watch this shit? Like, now, the people within the film, when they're being interviewed about it, they talk, this is in the very, very opening, so this isn't a spoiler or anything. The people who had been watching the previous murders, they're like, oh, I didn't know it was real, but it's so entertaining, and finding out that it's real, oh my God, I can't believe it. But, would people watch it? Even if they knew it was, some for sure. In mass quantities, I don't know. And another question is like, what are the motives and the message that these killers are trying to send out? I mean, what is it that they're wanting to get out of this? Is it purely for people's entertainment? Is it for fame? Is it for money? Is it so that they can be analyzed by, doctors in the future, or just to be a topic of discussion and to analyze what they've done? Some killers are into that. I was kind of trying to sit back and analyze the film and in that way, and think about the killer's motives for why they would be doing this. My biggest issue with this film, and my biggest issue with the majority of horror films that I end up being annoyed with and either disliking outright, or the issues I have within the film, character decisions. I mean, there's so many character decisions in this film that you're just like, fuck. And I get why people can't look past that stuff. I've watched so many horror movies at this point that I almost feel like it's just part of the admission. Like, it's like part of the price I pay. It's like, here, I rented the movie for $3, and I also have to put up with stupid character decisions. It's like part of the price. Not always, but the majority of the time. And there's a lot of them in here that you're just like, fuck, no, don't do that. Try not to yell at the screen anymore, but man, you just want to shake the shit out of people. So I think that's my biggest gripe. And as far as the ending, it's okay. I definitely understand why people would hate it, but I'm okay with it. So as you can tell, I'm not recommending this. It's something that if you're a big found footage fan or a big Bella Thorne fan or something, it's worth a watch, but it's not something I can recommend in good faith to anybody. So it's forgettable. And, yeah. So anyway, guys, if you've seen it, let me know. If you end up watching it, even though I gave it a blah review, let me know as well. Or if you loved it and thought there was no problems with it and you want to call me a total jack off, I'm always down for that as well. All right, guys.